Hello and welcome to today's ELA class. Today is Friday, March 26th. Today's video will focus on the third and final part of the Cesar Chavez speech from the 1984 speech. Today's learning target: I will do my best on part 3 of Cesar Chavez's speech by writing a solid paragraph, using the evidence and inferences from the chart I completed yesterday, answering the question, how does Cesar Chavez bring to light the plight of the migrant worker? So this video will focus on writing a solid paragraph. Make sure you read the rest of the agenda. Make sure you complete the GPS. Make sure you submit everything when you're done. Let's get started right away with our paragraph writing. Now, Monday, you completed the first chart, which had evidence, paragraph, and category. Then yesterday, we took that and we moved it to a working conditions inference chart. Okay, and if you look at this, what we have here is we have 2/3 of our quote sandwiches. We have the quote and we have the explanation. So we're just going to have to add an introduction to it. We can do that based on paragraph number or some other reference to how it fits into the speech. In both cases, it was at the start of the speech, paragraph 1 and 2. Maybe we can include that. So we have, how does Cesar Chavez bring to light the plight of the migrant worker? That is our writing task. Now remember, when we write a solid paragraph, we really focus on, well, let's see what we focus on. If we go back to the modules page, and we scroll down to writing a solid paragraph, we can see right here. Okay, in a solid paragraph, we have a claim, then we have a quote sandwich, followed by another quote sandwich, and a conclusion. Remember, when we write the claim, we're going to restate the writing prompt, answer, and then give reasons. Okay, and we're going to use, in this paragraph, we're going to use the two pieces of evidence I have here. First one deals with imagery. The second one really is a shocking statistic or stat. That's a tongue twister. So we'll go with, starting with our claim. Now, if you pick different evidence, you're going to have a different claim. Okay, but you're always going to start off by using tag and restating the question. So we could have something like, Cesar Chavez brings to light the plight of the migrant worker by making us aware of the workers' problems through vivid images and shocking stats. Okay, so there's our claim. Now we're going to have two quote sandwiches. We need to introduce the first quote. Our first quote is vicious rats gnaw on them as they sleep. That's the part of quote I'm going to use. So I could just go early on in the speech. And remember, this is my introduction. This is the top part of the sandwich, the top piece of bread. Early on in the speech, creates, Cesar Chavez creates a very disturbing So that's the top part of my sandwich. Okay, so it's early on in the speech, Cesar Chavez creates a very disturbing image of how the migrant worker is forced to live. Chavez says, comma, and then I'm going to have my quote. I can just copy and paste that in. And I didn't tell you to pause after the claim, but you could have paused after the claim. And I really don't want you to copy my claim exactly, but look at your evidence. You can take parts of my claim, look at your evidence, and come up with a solid claim. And then after you start back up again, you can pause after I introduce my evidence, you can write your introduction, and then you can start it back up. Chavez says, vicious rats gnaw on them as they sleep. Quotation mark. Okay, this is Chavez. It's paragraph 1. See how I did the citation there? And then my explanation is here. And the more I think about it, I'm going to just change a little bit of it, I think. This quote reveals the plight of migrant migration, the terrible living conditions of workers by using vivid imagery that paints a picture in the reader's mind that just won't leave, just won't vanish, just won't leave, just won't vanish, just won't disappear. Okay, so if you look at what I have so far, I have my claim, which I could highlight in yellow. And then I have my introduction to my quote, my first part of the quote sandwich, which could be bread. Okay, I have, this is a hamburger, if you will, or could it be some barbecued beef? We'll go with a hamburger, and then the rest of it is your rest of your quote sandwich. But you can see I have my claim, I have my first quote sandwich. I'm going to come up with another quote sandwich, and then I'm going to come up with a conclusion. Okay, and again, I don't want you to copy my paragraph exactly. I mean, I gave you 5 pieces of evidence on Monday. You can take the 3 or 2 of the 3 that I did not give you yesterday in the next chart, put those into the chart from yesterday, write your inferences, and then use those in your paragraph so that it's a little bit different. Okay, so I'm looking at my next piece of evidence, okay, and it's a shocking stat. Still at the beginning. Um, Still very early in the speech. Chavez uses a shocking statistic to further um, grab the reader slash listener attention. So I should probably add that. I like how I said that there. Um, let's just read what I have so far. Cesar Chavez, and see, that's how you write. You got to read what you have so far. Cesar Chavez brings to light the plight of the migrant worker by making us aware of And instead of saying us here, I'm going to say reader, making the reader slash listener aware. I like that better. Okay, so I have my top part of my sandwich. Now I need the quote. He writes, comma, quote. I can go up and grab this quote. It's a crazy fact, isn't it? It's a shocking fact that 800,000 underage children work with their families harvesting crops across America. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to take and have my quotation mark, and then I'm going to have Chavez, author's last name. It's still, in this case, I believe it was paragraph 2, so I can put a 2 there. Now I can just go up and get my inference. This quote informs us about the plight of the migrant worker, showing in shocking fashion Okay, so now I have my second quote sandwich. Still very early in the speech, Chavez uses a shocking statistic to further grab the reader listener's attention. He writes, some 800,000 underage children work with their families harvesting crops across America. This quote informs us about the plight of the migrant worker, showing in shocking fashion the outrageous number of young children forced to work in the fields. Okay, so this here again is my sandwich. Top part, bottom part of my sandwich. And then this is going to be a veggie sandwich. So we can make this green. It's a veggie sandwich. But you can get the, so you can see right away. We have a claim, we have two quote sandwiches, and we're going to end with our conclusion. We're going to wrap everything up. We can do that by restating the question. Um, and highlight it right away in yellow. Cesar Chavez's, we're going to restate, wrap up, ability to bring to light the plight of the migrant worker through vivid imagery and shocking statistics. Um, resulted in better working conditions for many. And there's my conclusion. There's my paragraph. Now, like I said, I don't want you just to copy this over, but you can use it to write yours. You can borrow parts of it if you need to. So my paragraph based on the question. The question was, how does Cesar Chavez bring to light the plight of the migrant worker? My response is, Cesar Chavez brings to light the plight of the migrant worker by making the reader listener aware of the worker's problems through vivid images and shocking statistics. Early on in the speech, Cesar Chavez creates a very disturbing image of how the migrant worker is forced to live. Chavez says, vicious rats gnaw on them as they sleep. Chavez 1. This quote reveals the plight of the migrant worker by showing the terrible living conditions of the workers by using vivid imagery that paints a picture in the reader's mind that just won't disappear. Still very early in the speech, Chavez uses shocking statistics to further grab the listener's attention. He writes, some 800,000 underage children work with their families harvesting crops across America, Chavez 2. This quote informs us about the plight of the migrant worker, showing in shocking fashion the outrageous number of young children forced to work in the fields. Cesar Chavez's ability to bring to light the plight of the migrant worker through vivid imagery and shocking statistics result in better working conditions for many. And I need to make sure that I spell Chavez right. Shavez. And there you have it. So if I undo it completely, you can see clearly the paragraph that I have there. Um, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Traditionally, we indent 5 spaces for our paragraph. There you have it. Look at this, read this, use this to write your paragraph. I hope it helps. I hope you have a wonderful spring break. For those of you that will be coming in person afterwards, I look forward to seeing you in person. For those of you who are still working remote, you're still going to see my face. I hope that I see some of your faces with cameras on, and I hope to hear some more chatter going on, answering some more questions. Hopefully, you'll find your voice and unmute yourself, and we can move forward and get ready for the rest of the school year. Have a great day, and I will see you in ELA. Bye-bye.